Hi there, welcome to the PHC wrap-up show presented by Badboonarising. We are wrapping up the first two goes of the World Finals, and I'm joined here today by the lovely Miss Elizabeth Quirk and the ever-for-ugly Monty Button. Nah, just kidding, Monty.
Only looks that way when I stand next to her.
We all do, we all do. That's why I had her here. So welcome, guys. So let's kind of go over the World Finals a little bit. I mean, we've had two goes now. We're at a little halfway point right now. We've got a couple of days in between before we go into the third and the fourth round, which are obviously always the, I don't know, I call them the emotional rounds because it's like that's where everybody starts realizing these are the last couple of runs for the year.
Yeah.
What's it been like for you, Elizabeth, being down there? Both of you guys been shooting for a reserve champion this year because the World Championship's already wrapped up. What's the mood like being for you down there?
I mean, just any time to show in the Watt is a blast. It's so much fun to go down there, and I'm sure Monty would say the same thing. Just going down there, competing with these amazing horses, amazing riders. The cows are a little tough, but I think it makes it all that more fun.
Yeah, as always, the cows are always a little bit tough in that environment. There's so many people, and that arena for the World Finals has such an energy, you know. The non-pro is pretty unbelievable this year too. I mean, I was looking down through there thinking, I'm glad they're not in my class, you know.
Well,
I mean, it's really unbelievable the caliber of horses and riders and showmen in that class this year.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, the cows have been tough, but they're always traditionally tough in there, and it almost kind of adds to, well, these are all war horses. You know, they have cut in every kind of condition possible, pretty much.
Yeah.
They've seen every kind of cattle, every kind of ground. And now all of a sudden it's come down to this, and it's basically the cream's going to rise to the top. And
the problem is they're all cream.
There's a lot of cream.
There's a lot of cream in those World Finals.
Yes,
yeah.
there is for sure. Well, let's go back. We'll start it off with the non-pro first go. Elizabeth, 228. You were first out in those finals. What was that like for you coming out there, being the first one out?
And I tell you what, Adon and Todd and Jesse and Jamie, they were all hollering at me. You know, you've got to drive up. You've got to get up here. It doesn't matter what you do, but if you're back in the herd, you're not going to get through it. And I took that first cow all the way up to the judges, and I mean, just showing that horse every run, it's always so fun on him. And huge shout out to Cullen Chartier and his entire program for training an amazing horse, and his foundation with Sean Flynn. We're just so blessed and lucky to have him, have Hot New Cowboy, and so it was a lot of fun.
Well, and you really didn't start your campaign till later in the year.
No,
I mean, you bought this horse earlier in the year, right?
No, we bought him in June, right before Vegas.
Oh, okay.
And then my mom had that accident in July, so didn't really get to show much. And so it's just been a joy to have him, honestly.
Well, it's fun to see you guys, you know, getting together. I mean, it was a little bit. There's always a little transition,
right.
You know, no matter what. But I mean, I was there at Outback watching those runs there and seeing some of those before that, and then obviously here, and it's been just amazing because that horse is such an athlete, and I think now you're starting to learn to really lean off to the side on that horse.
Like, so do I look like Cullen? Do I look like him?
The buttons are on the outside.
I told Cullen if he keeps winning riding like that, somebody's going to fall off and he's going to get a lawsuit.
Well, and actually, if you look at the wind photo that we just posted now on the video, it does show a little bit of air underneath the old buttocks there.
It's supposed to Photoshop that.
Careful. That horse is fast.
You know what? Morgan's been doing it forever, and look how much she's won.
There
there is nothing wrong with doing that. I don't care who you are. But no, that was a really exciting round. And Ali Good was second on on the first night on Hottish Metal, and then came back yesterday, and she was first out yesterday.
Yeah, first had a beautiful run put
222.
together. Yep, her horse. They looked amazing. Drove up there, had great cows, and really executed a flawless, perfect run right in the middle of the pen.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, and it just like what you did on the first night. I mean, everybody was trying to shoot for that, that bar, and it just never was able to be reached. But and that horse is something special. He is just a freak.
He is something else. He's made out of rubber bands. That horse.
Yeah. And some other notable names. Kat Whitby, she's been having an amazing show. Just really consistent. Right there in third. She was second there, split second and third, and and was third last night or in the second go round. Mia Webster, 219.5 last night. She's awesome. Always one to watch, you know.
So fun, so courageous, great cuts, excellent
showman. She's a crowd favorite. She goes for it. You know, she really tries to get up there and show her horse. She's got a great little mare too. Yeah. Almost prima donna.
And then, so right now the standings as of the points calculated on totals after two rounds, we've got Ali Good with a 440 after two rounds. Kat Whitby with a 437, and Elizabeth, you're right there with a 437 as well. I mean, it's a close race.
It is. It's all going to come down to that third and fourth round, and I invite everybody to come out and watch. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then that's what it is. And Tracy, you know, she's had a few, you know, okay runs, just hasn't had it all come together yet. So we'll be looking to see her.
She almost had a great run last night and had a little trouble, but it was going good for her last night.
Yeah.
Well, she shows great and has had a great year, and she and that horse are so dynamic. So I'm looking for a big score from her in the 3rd and 4th round.
I 100% agree. You know, she's got the World Championship wrapped up on PKR Big Mac, and been showing Little Mac as well, the full brothers. So it's going to be fun to watch them and see how it all kind of shakes out down there in the end. Let's switch gears now and go on over to the Open. Monty, you were last out the first day. 228. I mean, what happened there? How did that come about?
Well, I'm just glad she's not in my class. Like I said, that wasn't really my strategy to have that kind of. My goal was to stay in the average like it always is in the Open or the non-pro for us every year. We want to get our horse showed every night, and we had 3 black cows that we thought were doable but not great, and turns out that they were really good, and my horse was excellent. You know, I always tell people he's kind of like a magic carpet. He makes you feel like you can fly, but when you don't have it, you fall to the ground. So. He's really a special animal, and I'm very grateful to have him and be able to show him in the Open for Debbie.
Yeah, he's definitely one like, and that run you had at Cascades Futurity, we were talking about it earlier, you know, in the WOW series up there. I mean, that horse just has so much reach and so much stretch to him, and just, I mean, captures your attention right there as soon as you drop your hand on that first cow. He's normally right there.
Yeah, he's just a phenomenal athlete and a phenomenal thinker, and he's so well trained. Robbie Boyce, I think, originally trained him, but Hayden Upton had him for a long time, and I bought him from Hayden. And when I talked to Hayden about, you know, trying him, and it was almost like you don't need to try him. I know this is going to work, and you know, I've followed Hayden and done very well behind him. But he comes out of some great programs, and he's got a great pedigree, and I'm just very lucky to have him. And the only reason I really got to show him this year is because Debbie had hip surgery, so I got him to myself. I told her she really needs to check her knees next year. Health comes first. You know?
Health comes first. Just let me keep going here.
Yeah, exactly. We're doing fine.
Well, I'd tell you what, it's going to be fun to watch Debbie show cat play too.
Yeah, you know, and she showed him in the World Finals last year, and she was high up in the average. I don't remember where she ended up, but she really gets along with him really well. It's going to be awesome.
She shows beautifully.
Yeah,
she's excellent rider.
She just has some finesse about her. It's just so smooth, you know, and
she's pretty good at being mistake-free, and that she gets along really well with that horse. So next year should be really fun to watch them.
Yeah. And then Cody Headland, I mean, he has just been on a roll here these last couple of months.
From Waco to Blue Ridge, I mean, every cut is perfect, right in the middle of the pen, and that mare of his is unreal. Yeah, so much eye appeal, and he is really, I mean, they're a real team right now. Right. 226 the first night, and you know, and it's just been fun to see some of these people that have kind of started coming up towards the end of the year and then having the success here and coming on and putting on some good runs. Jamie Snyder, I mean, counting hot checks, they're the world champions this year. He started his round out with a 224.5, another amazing run, had some tough cattle. It was all real close. And then going into the second round, Cade Shepherd. How about that? Let's talk about that for a minute.
I don't know. What is he doing in our class? I told him if I wanted to show in the youth, I'd have entered the. He got us last night, and he had a ripper, and he gets along so good with that mare. And whoever thought there'd be an Austin Shepherd that could do Austin Shepherd better than he does?
Well, we talked about it earlier.
Oh my God!
I think Austin's ready just to kind of just let him go on because
I'd get rid of him if I was Austin. yeah, he's incredible. He's a really great showman. He's aggressive and confident, and he should be.
Yeah. So much finesse, so much poise last night. Even in his draw that he had, just stepped up there and just executed a plan flawlessly. It's great.
He's a lot like Austin. You never see him panic.
No panic.
You know, and it's just like he goes in there, he knows what he's got to do, he's listening to his help, he's processing the information, and he just goes and executes.
Yeah, he's a master of composure. For his age, too, it's really incredible.
Yeah.
He's learned from the best.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, I mean, they're just such a team, him and Countess Katrina. Just been fun to watch, and they've had a lot of success along the way as well. Monty, you were second last night with a 222.5, and then Toston Peterson got him some up there. He's 221 on Sly Criminal.
Yeah, he's been consistent. He was a 19, got to check the first night too. That is a good horse. Toston's on top of his game. He's been showing out there with us on the West Coast this year, and he's showing a lot of horses, and his consistency's really been impressive. He just went over the $1 million mark too this year.
That's right. He did that in Outback a couple of weeks ago. And he is starting to get a lot more consistency, and like you said, that string that he's starting to put together is getting more and more powerful.
Yeah, and I feel like he's getting the most out of it. I mean, that's a really good horse he's showing in the open, but he's getting the most out of everything he shows. He's really doing a great job.
Yeah, no, that's been fun too. So our totals in there, we've got Monty, you're at a 450.5 right now. Cade Shepherd on a 446.5, and Cody Headland on a 441.5. It's tight, 440s, 437s. I mean, it's going to be tight, and it's going to come right down the end for
I
that
heard
World
Cade
Finals.
Shepherd was going to get a flat tire, though, on Thursday night. So
No, he's not. He's on my team.
Oh.
Cade will be showing, so watch out.
Well, Monty, you've already racked up over $11,000 here, I think, or right around $11,000 in earnings, in the World Final, just in 2 rounds, and we're only halfway.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, it pays to do well here.
It does pay to do well.
Yeah, no, and that's for sure. Well, let's go into a little bit about the team standings. There's been a lot of talk about the teams, and that's why part of the reason why I wanted to have you on, because nobody knows this team format better than Elizabeth. So let's kind of break that down a little bit again, and just for those people who don't understand how that all works, what's happening with that.
Yep. So last year at the Futurity, we met with Ted Sokol, Mike Wood, Corey Rousey, Mary Bradford. We all sat down and we said, what can we do to make the World Finals better and bring everyone together and bridge the gap between the 2-limit rider, the 15, the 35, all the way up through the novices to the open and non-pro. So we came up with the team format under the Silks program. So there's 15 teams, and we all have a sponsor. So again, thank you to the 15 sponsors that have stepped up in year one to come alongside of us. It means so much. But to see these teams come together to compete in the arena and to also support a local nonprofit, I think that it really takes that picture and it expands it, because we are so much more than just competitors in the arena. We do give back. We are involved in our community, and we are supporting the Wellman Project, the Union Gospel Mission, and Tarrant County Food Bank this year. So we're able to give food to those that need it, to give cleaning products, hygiene products, to give supplies, school supplies to kids that may not have those. They may not have a backpack, pencils to go to school, paper, really need-based here in Fort Worth. So each team is assigned a nonprofit, and we have collection bins in the exhibit hall and the water arena when we are competing, and we are collecting items to give back. And we're going to have the top 3 teams will get an extra bonus cash, and we're also going to be able to give cash back to these local nonprofits. So
yeah,
cool.
no, it's a great concept, and be sure to go check out those donation tubs there,
Please.
during the World Finals this week, and find out ways that you can help and help raise, these goods that they're looking to collect. I just want to know a little bit about how the teams are picked, because somehow Badboonarising is at the top of the standings right now.
What a coincidence.
That seems a little fishy, doesn't it? Y'all should talk to Todd. Talk to Todd. No, so the teams were drawn at random by the National Cutting Horse Association. And no, I'm very glad, very proud that Badboonarising is sitting on top. But I mean, we do have Cody Headland and Allie Good, so I'm feeling pretty good about that team. But all the way down, there's some great teams on here. And what's so neat about the team format is since you're still waiting for your UA, your 50M, your novices, everybody, there's a lot of cutting left. So if you think you're out, you're really not. Get with your team member and tell them to keep cutting.
Well, it really gives you a reason to keep showing too. It keeps it interesting. If you have a little bit of trouble or lose a cow or something, get as many points as you can. It really matters when it comes down to this.
It does. Yeah.
No, I think it's a great format. Like I said, it's close, and there's only 4 scores right now per team. We're fixing to see that multiply here pretty quick with all the other finals coming up. And speaking of that, let's talk about some of the finals we've got coming up this week. Monty, what have we got?
Well, one of my favorites here is Alan Melendez. He works for Mike Wood. He's a great young trainer that's been an assistant for Mike Wood, I think, for a couple of years. Interesting fact about him, he almost made the Open World Finals this year. He shows some of the non-pro and amateur horses but in the Open before some of Mike's non-pro and amateurs, and one of them he really started hitting some licks on. And he was this close to making it in the Open, which would have been
cool.
Really awesome. And he really deserved to do well there, but he missed it barely. But anyway, he's got a very commanding lead on the 2,000 limited rider.
Yeah, let's talk about how much he's won there, because that's not easy to do in a year in the 2,000 limit rider.
Yeah, 24,000 and change. Yeah, with almost a $12,000 lead.
Yeah, and a big portion of that in Arizona, obviously.
Yeah, but I mean, they have been on down the road. Those guys, that's the hardest working team of the industry. And, one of the coolest things is he showed Blessed You Mate, and I don't know how many 2,000 limited world champion riders have. I mean, Mike Wood's like a factory of world champions in the 2.
Yeah.
But Blessed Your Mate, she's been a big part of that, and it's pretty cool that he got to get some money on her too as well.
Yeah, no, that's going to be fun, and it's great to see him have the success he's had this year. And like you said, I think we're going to be seeing him in the Open quite a bit more.
I don't want him in my class. He's a very talented guy.
Liz, let's talk about the 50K amateur. What do we got there?
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Molly has had an amazing year. It's been incredible to see her show these 3 different horses and, all different arenas. And she's got a great lead going into the World Finals, $7,300, and she's just balancing it. I mean, I don't know how she does it between taking care of everybody's horse and then showing, and she keeps it all very organized. So kudos to her for keeping it all together.
Well, it's a whole different concept, because she'll be at a show, and I'm sure she's got some of her competitors coming to her with their horses, saying, "Help me fix this horse," or there's something wrong with my horse, and she's fixed them. But it has been just one big family, and it's been so much fun to see her down there, because she's really been committed to this year, and it's great to see that story kind of evolve. And she's got a commanding enough lead, I think a little over $7,300. So looks like she's going to be the world champion in that division.
That's impressive. We saw her on the West Coast quite a bit this year, and that was kind of fun. I think that was maybe one of her first times to come out that way.
Yeah.
And she's done a great job.
What about the 5K novice, Monty?
So Scott Holm and Mike Wood have been battling that out all year. Looks like Scott's got a $9,200 lead. I don't know his horse very well. I know Mike Wood's got a really good Once a Fox, really good mare. He's had her from the start, and she's gritty, and she's done double duty with Deb Winnard in the 5,000 novice non-pro all year long. So, but she's working great, and Mike's really good fit with Mike, and should be a good show in the World Finals.
Yeah, Scott and his family there, I mean, just amazing people. And that horse, when he shows up, I mean, it's incredible. You'll stop and watch, because there's so much electricity. It's amazing. I can't wait to see him in the Watt.
Yeah, I've heard that horse has been extremely consistent, and it's electric is what they tell me. I haven't gotten to see it, but I'm looking forward to it.
That horse is quick and gets a lot of moves in a short period of time.
Yeah.
That's for sure. What about the 35K non-pro, Liz?
Yeah, we got Maddie Coberly, has had a great year. I mean, leads it by $7,500. Great showman, just executes time and time again. We're excited to get to see them together in the Watt. It's going to be a fun shoot out there.
Yeah, and $20,000 and change in that division,
right?
And that's
huge.
Not the easiest to do in that class either.
It's had a great year.
Yeah, has a commanding lead. Monty, moving on down to the 25 novice.
25. This one's good. There's going to be some. So this is going to be
get
intense.
loud.
Yeah. So Trent Bell, great guy. This mare, I got to see her at Blue Ridge, and she's still working great. She's still giving it her all and trying very hard. And Casey Crouch, and they're $418.48 apart. Trent Bell's got
That's amazing. And when you look at how much they've won, I mean,
yeah, they've won $62,000 apiece. I got to see them both show there. Both those horses are fast and gritty, which is perfect for that pen, and it's going to get interesting.
Well, it just shows you, I mean, this can come down to one third place check, somewhere that they didn't get throughout the year. That's how close it really is right now.
Yeah, it's not going to be over until it's over.
No, that's going to be fun to watch. Now, what about the 15K amateur, Liz? What do we got there? Another close race.
It is going to be close. Michelle Musselman's been going, and so is Christine Perry. It's a tight race, and I mean, both excellent showmen, so I think it'll be fun to watch both of them go at it there in the Watt.
The 15M is always such a competitive one, and maybe more so on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Places like Arizona, those classes are often two
take
sets.
It seriously.
Yeah. And it's very competitive. What do we got in the unlimited amateur?
Well, Caitlin Lobb, girl with ice water in her veins. This girl shows so good.
So good.
I mean, she
rides with Tim and Carsten.
She shows way better than Tim, though. I mean, I see him show her horses, and then she shows them, and I'm wondering who's doing the schooling. No, she's really. I don't know which one of these horses she's going to show, but they're all good, and she's got a pretty commanding lead. She's $12,000, almost $13,000 in the lead, and she's worked very hard for that. She lost it by just a little last year in the 50. And so she went right back at it with her head down and did a great job. Yeah. So I'm excited to watch her. Morgan Miller's sitting second in that class.
Yeah. And another good friend of ours in the 5K novice non-pro this year, Liz.
Yeah. Heather's had an amazing year on Blue Reflection, and I know she's really looking forward to coming in here and showing her amazing horse off to everyone. And she's got it won, and it's going to be so much fun to watch. And congratulations to her for working so hard.
That's another one I've heard a lot about and haven't gotten to see yet. So I'm looking forward to watching that.
Well, and she's another one. She lives, eats, and breathes this sport. I mean, she's so she's so into it, and she was a big part of Tracy's world championship this year in the non-pro. They hauled together, and and they were there for each other when maybe times weren't going good, and a big part of it. But it just shows you it's still a team sport, although it's an individual award. It's a team sport, and that's what's fun about all this.
Yeah, nobody gets one of these titles by themselves.
No.
No, these are not easy to get, and like I said, there's several of them that are still up for grabs this week. So come on down to the Watt and cheer these people on, and get in there, and be sure to go check out how the different ways that people can donate and help the teams get behind this and support this, because it's going to be fun to watch and see how all this shakes out. A busy week in the Watt. Then next week we're going right into sale mode. I mean, it's like all of a sudden we're getting towards the end of this thing, and it's getting busier and busier, and there's more things added to it. More
everybody's
events.
rolling in now. I mean, all the action's just about to start.
Yeah,
we've been here, it feels like forever, but the real action's just about to start.
Yeah, it's getting serious now. We've got the amateurs kicking off tomorrow afternoon after the intermediate and the limited non-pro finals tomorrow morning. And speaking of that, we're still wrapping up the last few sets of the non-pro today as we're filming this. Megan Miller, I just got to give a shout out to her this morning at 2:24 on Carolina Dreams. And
on a clinic. Amazing.
I mean, had a 2:06 in the first go, had nothing to lose, just came in, and I mean, it was a beautiful run, a finals type run.
I was sitting right behind her, and she cut her first 2 cows. Could not have been any better. She couldn't have been more aggressive. Looked like she was showing in one of these world finals classes. I mean, it was impressive. Matt Miller's got a trained set of horses this year, and she showed the heck out of that one.
Well, and that's it. Just shout out to the Miller program right now, because like I said, Matt, I mean, the ones that he showed, and with what Megan's got, he's got a trailer load going down the road next year. He's going to be a contender. So that's always the fun part about the futurity, is seeing some of the people who maybe haven't had a good 4-year-old or haven't been as competitive, and all of a sudden they get a couple, and boom, they're going to be right in there. Here comes Abilene.
Yeah.
Away we go.
Get ready.
Yeah, it's all about horsepower, and they have such a great breeding program these days, and they have a great little set of mares, and that's Matt's going to be one to watch next year. I saw several of them.
Yeah, no, it's always fun. So Liz, we've got a little break right now before you guys go again in the non-pro. You've got a novice horse as well.
I do.
But what's your game plan now? What are you thinking about going into these last 2 rounds, finishing out the year in the non-pro?
I mean, finishing strong, trying to execute a clean run, showing my horse to the judges, showing what all he can do. Try not to get in the way or dive off the side, or maybe I should. I don't know. Yeah,
Horse
maybe,
for him.
That's how we get the points. I mean.
But no, and I'm really excited about showing my novice horse. This is the first time I've ever qualified in the novice class, and I bought this little horse back. I bred him, raised him, then we sold him. Bought him back on Facebook, and a great guy, Lynn Ellison. Shout out to you. Thank you for selling me my horse back. And it's just kind of been a Cinderella story. He's cutting, he's doing great, and he's out of my old mare, Katie Shorty, and so I'm really looking forward to showing him.
And I was going to say, isn't he the one that kind of helped bump her
He
earnings?
is, yes. I won a $321 check at 2 a.m. in the morning that put Katie Shorty over $1 million on that horse.
That's
so
awesome.
Yes, he will always
That
be very
is awesome.
special to me. Yeah.
Isn't it funny though, those kinds of runs that you remember?
I'll never. I marked a 71 and a half, and I was so happy.
But it's like you executed. You had a plan, you had a goal, and you
I didn't lose a
executed.
cow.
Didn't lose a cow. Got through the run. It was worth staying up till.
Right.
So yeah, Monty, what about you? 2 runs left.
2 runs left. Yeah, I just really want to. When you have a horse like that, I think the goal is just not to embarrass it. If we can get in there and get our cows cut so they can do what they do. Her and I both have great horses in the open and non-pro, and my goal is just to get him showing well. Make sure that I do my part, and I'm pretty confident he's going to do his if I get a cow. Get a cow out there.
Well, and I think you both have had some really good runs so far, obviously. But I think there's some people there that haven't had everything kind of come together yet that we're going to see step up.
Exactly.
And it's going to get more and more competitive.
In those
You never
finals.
know.
I mean, but I feel like something incredible usually happens on those last 2 nights. I mean, we've seen some historical runs on those last few nights.
Yeah.
The energy's unbelievable. Like you said, everybody's coming from the sale. It's going to be a standing room only. And so it's going to be cool.
A lot of emotions that night, and that's always my favorite part, and the photos that we see from that night, and they always seem they tell a whole story from the year.
Right.
And I think it's a really fun way to do it. So be sure to come on out to the Watt this week. There is lots of action there starting, I believe, at 9 o'clock every morning this week out there. And then the 3rd round and the 4th round of the non-pro and the open will be later. It's 7 o'clock in the evening, I believe, on Thursday and Saturday.
Yes, Saturday I believe starts at 4.
Yes, 4. And so lots of cutting action. And then we're into sale mode. Bring your checkbooks, come on down. Western Bloodstock sales starting next week as well, Monday with the first 2-year-old sale. And we've got the Wrap Ranch sale preview coming up this Friday at the Wrap Ranch. That'll be starting at 10 o'clock. We've got about 65, 67 horses we're going to preview there, so it's a great way to come out and do a little research and see those. So, guys, thanks for coming out, and really enjoyed it. And good luck in the rest of the week and the rest of the show with all the horses you got. And be sure to tune in to CHC, the live scoring. Keep up with all the action live. And thank you to Badboonarising for supporting this wrap-up show. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.